Hey everyone, and happy Easter. I'm Pastor Doug, this is Pastor Matt, and we are so pumped for what's about to happen. Before we get started, there's just one thing that you need to know. Easter Jam is for everyone in your family.
So if you're a teenager, this is for you. College students, you too. And if you're a younger kid, get ready. We're about to have some serious fun, and we need you to lead the way. Adults, buckle up. This is Easter like you've never done it before.
No matter who you are, we want you to know that Easter Jam is for you. The only way not to have fun is to not participate. So look around, is anyone missing? If so, hit that pause button and go get them. We're getting started in 3, 2, 1.
Easter, a time for fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
Okay, hear me out. There are only two kinds of people in the world. People who love these things and, well, people like me. I just don't get it. I don't get how you eat something that is this cute and also this grainy.
Well, Pastor Matt, I obviously feel different about Peeps than you do. But how about you guys? Let's see how your family feels. Why don't you give me a thumbs up if you love eating Peeps, or a thumbs down if you don't. Now, whether you love eating Peeps or not, you're gonna love this next game. Your family is about to face off in the greatest Peeps jousting competition of all time. We're gonna explain how that works, and then we'll tell you when to start.
First, divide the room into two teams. Next, take two Peeps and assign them to a team. If you don't have any Peeps, no worries, big marshmallows will work as well. Team A gets Peep A, and Team B gets Peep B. And you can come up with cooler names like Lord Sugarcoat or Sir Sprinkles. You get the idea. You can also use a marker or a Sharpie to decorate your Peeps. Maybe give them a little bit of a personality with a mustache or give them some mean eyebrows or maybe even a fancy outfit. You get the idea to let your creative juices flow. The next thing that you're gonna do to prepare your Peeps for battle is you're gonna take a toothpick and you're gonna stick it in each Peep to prepare them for battle. Think of the toothpick as a joust, maybe even a lightsaber or a sword. It just depends on how serious your family is about this competition. Make sure the toothpick is facing forward toward the other Peep.
All right, then you need to take the two Peeps and put them on a microwavable plate. No social distancing is necessary. You want the Peeps to be as close together as possible, facing one another. Finally, it's time for the big event. Gather around and put the plate in the microwave, setting the timer to 45 seconds. Now you won't let that run that long. In fact, don't let it run that long. But press start and watch at a safe distance until the Peeps drop their toothpick sabers at one and one touches the other. The toothpick that touches the other Peep first is the winner.
And as soon as this happens, you're gonna wanna stop the microwave. Trust me on this one, families. Just trust me. Okay, it's time to settle this thing. Don't forget to snap a picture of that photo finish. It's go time. So press pause now, and we will be waiting here.
You know, I have to admit that was a lot more fun than I thought. And also, this happened.
All right, well, let's get ready for another game. For this one, you need a laundry basket and socks. Lots and lots of socks. Whether they're clean or dirty, it doesn't really matter as long as they have a match. If you need to go grab those things now, go do that. You press pause and we'll explain the rest later.
All right, got your basket and socks? Great. Now choose 2 people to play. You're also gonna need 2 people to be the scorekeepers. So to start, dump all the socks onto one side of the room. And don't worry, those socks will make it back to the basket real soon. Then place the basket on the other side of the room. Now when I say go, players will grab a sock and go through the pile and find another sock that matches that one. Roll the socks together in the shape of a ball, or like an Easter egg, and then toss them like this, all the way to the other side of the room into the laundry or Easter basket.
The player with the most sock eggs in the basket at the end of the game wins. If you don't have a scorekeeper to help you count, you'll have to keep up with that number on your own. That means everyone's on the honor system. Parents, I'm looking at you. Senior pastors, you too. Okay, if needed, press pause now to get everything and everyone in position for the game.
Everybody ready? Great. We're putting a 1-minute timer on the clock. This Easter egg throwdown is happening in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Okay, that was wild. And you know what? Whoever wins or whoever won gets socks. Just kidding. Adults, make sure whoever won the challenge gets a special treat today.
I hope you're having a lot of fun so far. We're celebrating because this weekend is Easter. Now, if you don't know the whole story of Easter, that's okay. Today, we're going to talk about what makes Easter, maybe more than any other day, a happy day. But before we get there, I know that you have a lot of friends and family members who would love to hear from you. In order to make that happen, we have a few options. Pause this video and pick one of the challenges on the screen to wish your peeps a happy Easter.
Even though we're celebrating a little differently than we have before, that's okay. Easter is still happy, and that's not just because of peep wars or Easter baskets or even chocolate bunnies. Although those things are awesome, it's still happy because of what happened thousands of years ago at the very first Easter. It's the world's most powerful story, and yet it is so simple. So simple that it can be told with laundry.
In the beginning, God created everything. He formed people in His very own image. But then, we turned away from God. Sin entered the world. like a dark stain. Still, God loved us so deeply that He made a plan to rescue us. At just the right moment, God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to live among us. Jesus healed hearts and minds and bodies. Thousands gathered to hear Him teach. Instead of giving lots of new rules, Jesus turned things upside down by making it simple. Love God, love others. After 3 years of traveling and teaching, Jesus and His disciples entered Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. Huge crowds gathered to welcome Him. But while the crowds cheered for Jesus, the religious leaders made plans to arrest Him. He was turning their world upside down, and they wanted Him gone. As Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with His friends, He told them that He would be leaving, but would return. His friends didn't understand. That night, one of Jesus' followers, Judas, led soldiers to arrest Him. The religious leaders gave Jesus a fake trial and then sent Him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who could have Him killed. Pilate found Jesus had broken no law and tried to release Him. But a mob called for Jesus to be killed. Pilate gave in and handed Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Jesus was forced to carry the heavy beams of His own wooden cross. On a hill called Golgotha, the soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the rough wood. The soldiers and people who passed by laughed and mocked Him. But from the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive them. Finally, Jesus called out, "It is finished." Then He died. The earth shook. Rocks split open. Even the soldiers cried, "Surely He was the Son of God." One of Jesus' followers took His body and placed it in a tomb cut from the rock. A huge stone blocked the entrance. Jesus' friends were devastated. They had believed that Jesus was the one God promised, the one who would rescue them, but now He was gone. Their whole world had turned upside down. Jesus' friends stayed hidden in fear for 3 days. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, a close friend of Jesus, hurried to the tomb. She planned to anoint Jesus' body with special spices. As Mary neared the tomb, she saw the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. Mary turned to see a man standing near. She didn't recognize him until he said, "Mary." It was Jesus, alive. Jesus told her, "Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me." Jesus, God's Son, became like us to lay down His life. Through God's power, He defeated death for all of us, and sin was washed away. One day, He's promised to return, so we can live with Him forever.
Wow, I hear that story every Easter and it still amazes me. I mean, God sent Jesus to the world to remind me that He is greater than anything that can go wrong in my world. The simple fact that Jesus came back to life is proof to me that I can face anything bad that happens. I like to think about it this way. I can because Jesus is alive. I can keep loving because Jesus is alive. I can be brave because Jesus is alive. I can have hope because Jesus is alive.
Here's an idea. Take a few minutes and add this to the list of things that you can do because Jesus is alive. Answer this question as a family. How would you fill in the blank? I can blank because Jesus is alive. Pause the video while you discuss, and when you're finished, meet us back here.
Awesome. I love conversations like these because remembering what God has done in the past helps me trust Him with what's going on in my life right now. I hope the same is true for you. And I hope that you spend the rest of this weekend making happy memories with your family. To get you started, here's one last challenge. For this one, you're going to need to decide who the technology genius is in your house. Maybe it's a step-parent, an aunt, uncle, maybe it's an 8th grader. Either way, decide who that person is right now.
As soon as this video is over, I want you to go outside and take a family Easter photo. You can be dressed up, or you can do it in your pajamas. It can be a totally normal picture with smiling faces, or it can be a crazy one with those filters that turns your face into a bunny rabbit. No matter how you decide to do it, take a family photo and then make it awesome. Then take it and share it to social media. Remember to post it and to use the hashtag EasterJam2020.
You know, maybe now more than ever, this is the time to celebrate and remember God's faithfulness and the hope that He gives us in Jesus. After all, that's what makes Easter so happy.
Death is beating, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, happy day. You wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, happy day. I'll never be the same. Forever I'm changed. I'll never be the same. When I stand in that place, realize meeting face to face, I am yours. Jesus, you are mine. In this joy, perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, happy day. You wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, happy day. I'll never be the same. Forever I'm changed. I'll never be the same. Oh, what a glorious day, what a glorious way. You have saved me.